Hello, and welcome back to Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts. Yeah, we are still fighting the French. We've taken, was it Honduras? Or Belize? One of these. I think it was Belize. And we have a naval invasion going against French Guiana. However, we need more ships here, so they are on their way. Also, hoping this task force can engage that task force right outside of Spain. No, Spain is my, well, not my ally, but my very close friend. So, makes sense for us to go here and protect their coast from the French. Yeah. Naval invasion against France. I have an option of starting a new one, because it's been 2 turns since the last one was started. Northern France, I don't have that kind of tonnage. Kwangtawan, Cambodia, Tonkin, Annam. Tonkin should be easy. That's up here. The Pacific Squadron can deal with that. Yeah, sea regions, Southeast Asia, so I'm not really expanding to any new sea regions, because I've already got the Philippines. Yeah, all of these are in Southeast Asia, so they're... I'm not adding more risk by taking these. Because basically the way it works, as far as I know, is that if I, for example, went and took Syria, that would establish a transport network between that region and my own, which means I would have to have power projection in Eastern Mediterranean, Central Mediterranean, Western Mediterranean, North Atlantic, all the way back home. Otherwise, I would start really losing transports, and that's how you kill your economy. And I don't want to do that. I don't think the like expanding too much into, for example, Africa. I don't think the income gained from these regions are, like, if it's peacetime, fine, but generally might not be worth having to spend a lot of money on more task forces all over just to keep my transports from getting slaughtered. So, for the time being, I want to stick to the regions I'm already in. And keep to my original goal of having full control of the Americas. Which means sooner or later I will probably have to take Canada. But that's, they're a minor nation, so that's not really up to me, I guess, unless someone else goes and takes them. Then I can take it. But no, you cannot force an invasion against a minor nation, sadly. Let's go to December. Oh, French Revolution. Typical. But we're still at war, so that's fine. Okay, we got a strike, and they actually have ships defending their port. It's another Fortune-class battlecruiser, the really fast ones, the fast and tanky ones, and a couple of torpedo boats. We got Connecticut and Ohio, a couple of Baltimores and Albany's. Right. Let's see. torpedo boats will go home. It's a lot of torpedo boats I'm carrying with me. These should probably be renamed. Yeah, they're finished already. Yeah, they only took 6 months to construct. Let's see, where are the? Here's one. The Baltimores are a little bit faster than the Albanies. So they're gonna get to go hunt down the battlecruiser. I don't think the Albanies are gonna be much use in this case. My DDs might be kinda useful. We're firing at 26.4 kilometers. Still inside my range. What are these guys doing now? Let's go down to cruising speed, which is 17.4 knots. Oh, it's on low fuel. Okay. It's not gonna be outrunning me today. Guess they just made it into port to refuel when I attacked it. After it. Flanking speed. That's one torpedo boat about to be dead. Let's see, the Baltimores have not been featured on a thumbnail yet. Like so. Looking deceptively like battleships, but they are heavy cruisers. There we go. Yeah, that's one dead torpedo boat. My DDs are joining in on the slaughter. Alright. close look at this monstrosity. That's a lot of secondary firepower. Yeah, they're all quad barrel 5-inch guns. How many guns is that? That was single, triple, and 19 quad 5-inch guns. That's 76 5-inch guns plus 3. That's 79 5-inch guns. No, that's just that's another quad. That's 83 5-inch guns. Excuse me. And they have a range of 10.2 kilometers. Okay. Getting within torpedo range might be a bit risky. I thought I was only going to have to dodge their slow Mark II 15-inch shells, but that's like a couple of squadrons worth of light cruisers strapped to that battlecruiser. So my DDs have been effectively deterred. Why don't you load AP? Victory going at 20.6 knots. Even with low fuel, that's yeah, I don't have much of a speed advantage over it with my battleships currently, but if we can cause some flooding, maybe knock out a funnel. Because it's only got one. Propellant SPD, bursting charge TNA. Oh yeah, the game has been patched. I'm playing the latest version of Naval Arms Race, and all the propellants have been changed. So we're gonna have to go into the ship designer and see what's what. Because what I initially chose to try and kind of limit the flashfire chance of my ships might have entirely different effects now. Also, hold on. The settings. Yeah, I set it back to 106. Okay. Because I was recording a Shipyard Champions episode previously today in vanilla without any mods. So I set my armor calculator to 150%, which is what you would be looking at often in unmodded Ultimate Admirals. Also, hang on. 9-inch. At 7 kilometers. I think we can pen that if we get good angles. Ricochet. Ricochet. We're getting some flooding from something. Let's go back to auto. Yeah, my ships want to fire HE, but they're soon out of it anyway. I'm 4.9 kilometers away from my battleships. It's slowing down. And the crew are getting gunned down. That's also the case on the Tulsa. Oh, it had torpedoes? 8.6 kilometer torps. And it's taking lots of flooding now. Thinking a lot of those 5-inch guns are about to be destroyed, or are destroyed. Let's find out. What kind of 5-inch gun armor do you have? Six inches. That one is still operational, that one is still operational. Taking out one 5-inch gun turret. Okay. Destroyed secondary gun. One more taken out. Could be a lighter one. I think I don't want to get my cruisers any closer now. That's just too much pain coming out of the sides of that ship. My battleships are now capable of catching it easily, so the cruisers have done their job. And these guys are a little bit too expensive for me to casually throw them away. Getting some more floating hits. Be 2%. Hit both my ships. There we go. Sinking. Yeah, as I said, these ships are tough. Even without its top speed available because it was low on fuel. They're kind of hard to sink, at least with my current ships. Yeah. So that was the only battle of this turn. Pakistan, Ukraine. Bulgaria. Okay, so France is losing allies. I didn't get a fight with this group, but maybe next turn? Yeah, 100%. Very nice. Okay. Big guns, 3 months. Mark 3 19-inch. So we're getting up into the really big guns now. We got the Mark 4 15s and Mark 4 16s. Also Mark 4 14s. Which is very, very good. Explosives. RPC 38. Safest version of tube powder. Now let's see. Ship design. Yeah, we're just gonna view our designs and see what kind of powders they ended up with. So I'm pretty sure this had Cordite 3 and TNT 2 when I built it. Now it's got Cordite MD, which gives me a plus flashfire chance, which is not great, and it's got Amatol, which does reduce flashfire explosion chance, but not as much as TNT 2. How about the Iowas? Are they the same? Because the way mods work in this game, at least currently, it's a little bit limited what you can actually do. It's now overweight. Okay. SPD, Shellite. Oof. Shellite seems kind of dangerous, but SPD is pretty safe. So this must have been tube powder. Maybe. Maybe it was the other way around. So, yeah. Gotten new powders. I will have to take a look at that and actually, let's just hit new design. I'll just take a look at the powders and explosives. I'm not gonna actually build the ship now, but come on, there we go. Plop down a gun. That's the 16 Mark IV. Now let's see. Pick my usual ammo. We got the choice of Cordite MD. That's plus 10.5% gun range. Minus 3 gun base accuracy. Heavier shells. More flashfire chance. We got RPC-12. Tube powder. Also known as RP or Rohrpulver. So that's minus flashfire chance. This is good. Plus 6% range. This is plus 10%. Plus 8% muzzle velocity. Plus 4.5%. SPD. Okay. So it's not as safe as tube powder, but still pretty safe. But it gives you less range. And less penetration and muzzle velocity, but you get more accuracy. Cordite SC, also pretty safe. More range and shell penetration than tube powder. or SPD, just not quite as safe. It's really just Cordite MD I want to avoid here. These three other ones are quite good in their own ways. Might actually make RPC-12 my new basic propellant. SPD being the actual US Navy one. Which is also not bad, really. I think with... so let's see. Let's take a look at ranges. 44.4 with AP. 41.6. 39.9. With Mark IV guns you get pretty good range anyway. Cordite SC. 43.2. Picric acid. It's basically what it always was. TNT 1. Quite safe. Dunite. Even safer. Amatol. Not quite as safe, but you get plenty of damage. Shellite. Unsafe. I don't want to use this one. Also a little bit unsafe, but not very unsafe. You do get more damage and fire chance. Shellite being the really flammable one. TNA. Get your mind out of the gutter. Quite unsafe. Lots of fire chance. Composition B. Plus shell penetration. Minus shell penetration. Plus shell penetration. This gives me less HE shell damage and fire chance, but more penetration, so... Let me just add... 8.4% flash fire chance. With... That's not too bad. 2.9%. Also not too bad. 0.2%. Exceptionally good. And with good range. Alright, I think this is gonna be my setup. Tube powder and dunite. SPD is also not bad though. But just the safety aspect of it, and the fact that it gives me a little bit more range over SPD, kind of making me lean towards tube powder. But that means all of my ships have to be refit to add it to them, because yeah, in the mod, these new powders and explosives, they've just replaced ones that were already in the game, and what replaced what is you know, not necessarily one-to-one. If I had tube powder before, that might not have been replaced with the new tube powder. But I'm pleased to see this has not caused any issues with the ongoing campaign. Let's get back to the map. Alright. My Iowas are commissioning. As soon as they are done commissioning, they're gonna get that refit. And that should be next turn. And the refit is gonna add a couple of months before they are ready for combat, but I don't want to send a... how expensive? Almost 1.4 billion ship out just to get it blown up, because the powders and propellant it suddenly had were super volatile. let's go into 1932. Elections. Center Party won again. It seems everyone had elections this turn. France and Austria-Hungary. So the Austrians like me now. France and Spain. Spain already liked me, so they're gonna be asking for a an alliance. Submarines. Fingers crossed. Okay, heavy damage to a torpedo boat. I can live with that. I'm gonna strike a port. And that was it. I lost 4 transports in the Caribbean. France lost 10 transports this turn. Japan is conquering stuff in Africa, 100%. There's a pretty big task force here. I'm still not fighting this guy. Come on. I really wish they would make it possible to just like attack move instead of moving nearby and hoping the game gives you a battle. There we go. Maybe this can be a battle? Are they trying to take Angola? I've not been paying close attention to like some of the things. What do we have here? French Antilles. It's 2 turns left. 2 turns left. Okay. Now, let's actually go about refitting the Iowas, because they are ready now. And let's do the Worcesters as well. I still haven't renamed my torpedo boats, but oh, okay. Alright. Let's hit the refit. Let's see what happens. It's no longer overweight. That is good. Let's see, SPD or tube powder. Yeah, not gonna use shellite. TNA, no. Composition B. Minus 15. Minus 25. What is my flash fire chance now? With composition B, it's 1%. Dunite, it's 0.6. Plus 33 shell damage. Minus 6 shell damage. This is more penetration. Yeah, we're gonna go composition B for the bursting charge. Now, we are no longer overweight. Refit is gonna be 4 months. But these are now quite dangerous guns. Yeah. Liking the look of this. Okay, anything else? That was... oh yeah, scout plane. Overweight. Like, nothing magical I can do to just make my ship lighter. Now, with the increased range of the Mark IV guns, it's also very tempting to go with super heavy shells, because that still gives me good range. That does also increase my flash fire chance, and I like it at 1%. Oh, that got me close. Just reducing the conning tower thickness. There we go. Right on the money. And I now have a scouting plane. Spotting plane. Save design. So barely in the water and then straight in for a refit. But that's how it goes when things are suddenly changed. Let's do the Worcesters as well. I have no idea what kind of powders they ended up with, but putting a spotting plane on them would probably not be a bad idea. It's got a plane. It's got SPD. It's got shellite. But the flash fire chance is still very, very low. Even with cordite. Yeah, no, I don't think these need a refit just yet. The propellant and explosive combination ended up being very suitable for them. SPD shellite. It would be nice to add a scout plane, but I can do the refit for these when they when I have something more worth refitting on them. And of course the other ones are gonna get new powders and stuff too whenever they get refit. Let's add the refit to the 4 Iowas. Yeah, 4 months. A bit of a delay. But again, I really would not want them to suddenly explode when they're that expensive. Let's go 1 more month and see what happens. Okay, we have a meeting. Germany and Spain are at war. That's not good. Submarine attack. Can't I just fight their actual ships? Heavy damage to New York. Gosh darn it. But here we go, meeting. 2 Pennsylvanias and a couple of Albanys facing off against a very slow battleship. Quite a few Anjou class heavy cruisers, Cirque class light cruisers, a couple of duplex too, and escorts. Yeah, just want to have the heavy cruisers follow for now. And we are firing. at very long range. 30 kilometers. What are we firing at? Some cruisers? Yeah, it's rather effective. Let's keep it up. Can probably get closer. What's the range of that battleship? That's the battleship. "20 kilometers. It doesn't really have the range. SPD and shellite on the Albanese. Tube powder and shellite on the Pennsylvanias. They have a blob like this. That's when you have the chance of getting lots of hits on different ships. That is a light cruiser. Are they just running away from me? Seems to be the case. Well, let's slow down. Max cruising speed on these, only 21.1 knots. But as long as you slow down a little bit, you still get some cruise speed bonus. So just keeping it right on this this mark here is basically what I usually do. Even if the max cruising speed might be even lower. Unless I absolutely do not need the extra speed. Which in this case I kinda do, because they're running away. It's a very slow light cruiser. Which they were targeting, but then suddenly decided not to target anymore. Do you have torpedoes? Yeah, you do. 6.3 kilometer torps. So not really that dangerous. Yeah, this is one of the human design ships. Decent torps, lots of 6-inch guns, decent speed. And then you have what the AI comes up with. What's the price difference here? 72 million? It's not even that cheap. A little bit cheaper than the human design ship, but there we go, that's one dead torpedo boat. Yeah, the torpedo boats are running out of fuel. Were they on low fuel to begin with, or did they just run out now? The St. Louis is running out of fuel. But it is now engaging my battlecruisers. This guy exploded. Tube powder and tetritol. I don't even know what tetritol is. And the Albany's starting to work over the lighter ships of the enemy fleet. Doing quite well at that. Time for the Albany to speed up. Start catching some small boats. If the French are going to send my New York into port for repair for 1 billion months because of a submarine, I'm gonna sink one of their battleships. What the... How am I penning that so much with 13-inch guns? Where did I pen it? Aft belt, main deck pen. Oh yeah, that's where the big damage is coming from. Main deck penetrations. Of course, yeah, it doesn't have a main deck. That explains quite a few things. Zero inches of main deck armor. Well, the AI thought it was a good idea, probably. Sink this before it launches torpedoes. I did sink it before it launched torpedoes. This one is next. Duchela. It doesn't really have the greatest torpedo range. But it is quite tanky. Let's get some battlecruiser firepower to kill it. There we go, surrendered. Seven-inch guns. Killing a DD. 7-inch guns will now take care of a light cruiser, while the battle cruisers make sure that the heavy cruisers do not escape. And I should be quite wary of these heavy cruisers, seeing as they are human designed ships. They have 11-inch guns. They haven't really been that threatening up until now, because they're also kind of outdated, but they are similar enough to my Albanese in vintage, just with much bigger guns. Alright. Big hits on Tourville. Tigre. It's I wanted to call it the Easting, but it's not, is it? It's something French. Luckily, all of these cruisers have now taken so many big hits. They've got lots of damage instability, so they're not really that dangerous anymore. Tigre is gonna flood. Or is it? No, it's not. Damage control working overtime. And they're not gonna fix that, are they? And just like that, there's only one left. Sinking an entire French task force, including a battleship. Not really bad for a raiding squadron that was pretty much just off the coast of Africa to sink transports. Yeah, that's a pretty good result. Look at all those sunk ships. Very, very nice. Transport losses. I lost 4 in the Caribbean. Poland wants to buy a Worcester-class light cruiser. At plus 112% profit? Yeah, they can buy one. Get control of Tonkin. I got 1 turn remaining of this this invasion here. Let's see, French Antilles. Yeah. That's something I want. Yeah, these are gonna go home for a bit. Oh yeah, looks like the French have come visiting. Any available? Yeah, these are being refit. These are also being refit. Atlanta and Worcester are ready for service, but I don't think they can take on this alone. What do the French have left? 41 ships left, 3 battleships, 6 heavy cruisers, 6 lights, 8 DDs. They're building 44 ships though. Am I over capacity? No. Strangely, I am not. Oh yeah, gonna rename this and that one. First two North Carolinas will be finished in 2 months, and then they will also get one of those refits. I can just do that off camera, I think. Engines in 6 months, diesel 2. Big guns, 1 month, even without the priority. We're gonna take it off for a bit. Mark 5 6-inch guns. Ooh, beautiful. Anyway, that's it for this episode. Goodbye, and take care.